Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy. I'm from a YouTube channel called Red Beans Recording, and today I have what I think is a really fun video for you. Native Instruments asked me to show off my 9 most favorite expansions for the Maschine ecosystem. And what I did was I made a little track out of all 9 of my favorites. So we're going to go through them. I'm going to play you some music and just tell you a little bit about each one. But we got a lot to get through, so I'm going to make this pretty quick, starting with what is an expansion. Expansions are collections of sounds, loops, grooves, groups, effects that you can purchase for the Maschine ecosystem. And they come in a variety of flavors. They come in a variety of genres. And one of the things that I've noticed going through these is that they're insanely well produced. So I want to tell you really quick what you get when you get an expansion, right? So here's some expansions that I have on here. Let me go to one of these. Let's see. How about crate cuts? So there's projects associated with the expansion, meaning that each one of these is a full project. There are groups, and this is usually where I start to build my track. These are full groups, usually like a sort of really well-produced kit of sounds. So that might sound like a fully produced loop, like it's all squished together and you don't really get to do anything except play it back, but that's not the case. With groups, you get access to everything in there and you can go through and affect every sound. You can delete things you don't want. You usually get a set of performance effects you can mess with if you want that are assigned to macros already. They're just like a really tight collection of really well-chosen instruments that all go well together in a group. So that's usually where I start. I find a kit that I really, really like. Either it's drums or it's melodic or it's both, and I start with that. As we drill down, the next thing we're going to get is sounds. Some kits have more sounds than others. Some don't have any sounds at all. But what a sound is, it's going to go on the sound layer. So one of these pads can get a sound and it's going to have some effects associated with it. These can be things either like samples with effects afterwards, or they can be things like one of the instruments in the Maschine ecosystem, like Massive or Monarch or Prism, something like that. Next up are loops. Loops are what you might think. They are loops of material usually made either from the kits themselves, the groups, or they're a special material that was made that is a sort of a full realized loop of the instruments that you might have access to. And they're really, really great, especially for percussion, or in the case of the jungle one or drum and bass one, some of the drum loops are just perfectly produced and ready. I use the perks a lot in here, but some of the pads and stuff like that are really, really good too. So loops are that's fantastic. Loops are really, really useful to add spice to what you're doing. Finally, we have one-shots. So these are all the one-shot samples that are associated with the expansion. And you'll hear a lot of the stuff in the sounds or in the group or in the loops, but these are the little tiny pieces of it. So you'll have everything from percussion to individual instruments, chords, stuff like that. So as we drill down from group into sound, into loop, into one shot, we have all of this stuff that we can pick from. And the cool thing about using this stuff on the Maschine is that you really can just effortlessly move between all those things and pick what you need for the moment. Yeah, these are really, really fun. They're amazing little track starters. You can make full tracks with them. You can mix and match from things. And what I've done is I've made a track or a demo track for 9 of my favorite expansions. And I've only used what's in that expansion, plus stuff from the Maschine library, which you have access to with your Maschine. So this one right here, this Maschine factory library. So you have access to that if you have a Maschine, as far as I know. So you can mix and match from that. And it's pretty good. There's a lot of really, really great stuff in there. So with that said, let's get started. The first one that I made a demo of is AQUARIUS Earth. And this one is just what did I write about it? I said Boards of Canada, but that's not the case. It's more just kind of bent, boom bap, down tempo, really, really chill. It's just really, really fun to play around with. So let me just play you the track that I made. If you might So the next one is from a pack called Basement Era, and this is another sort of like dusty, lo-fi, jazzy hip-hop one. There's a lot of ones like this. Each one has a slightly different flavor, but they're all really, really fun to play with, especially if you like this kind of music. So let's check out Basement Era.
Sound.
Okay, next one up is called Crate Cuts. This one can be like sort of dusty, like lo-fi, hip hop kind of stuff, but I had fun with this one, turning it into something a little different, a little bit more playful, a little bit more sort of kawaii. There's a lot of sort of playful kind of stuff in this pack that's really, really fun to play with. I just said play a whole bunch. So that's what I'm going to do for you now. This is Crate Cuts. This next one is called Polar Flare. This one's kind of special to me because it really, really encapsulates a lot of this specific type of music that I really, really love, which is Northern European electronica. So Norse electronica, Icelandic, this sort of like dark, brooding, but also like delicate kind of electronic music that's very cinematic, you know, Bjork, Trent Moller, Sigur Rós, that kind of stuff. So yeah, this one turned into like a full track with vocals that are part of the pack. So let's go ahead and listen to Polar Flare.
When I don't sleep, it's the times out of comfort when I take both seats. Minutes float away into hours. Running never seems like it's hard, but it's the times when we touch base, in the moments that the lips fade. Oh, oh.
There's another genre that's very, very dear to my heart, and that is drum and bass and jungle. And this newer expansion from Native Instruments rocks that out really hard. Some of the drum loops in here are so classic sounding already that it's kind of amazing. I'm really stoked at the level of production that is going into these packs. Like, it's actually kind of astounding. Whoever makes these, and I'm sure it's different people, but I just want to say thank you. These are incredible. It's like making every single part of a whole album and selling it to somebody so that they can make whatever they want from it. So let's listen to Rhythm Source. Okay, this next one is when I decided to get a little fancy with what I was doing. This is called Indigo Dust, and this is sort of like a Rufus Del Sol deep house kind of Disclosure-esque thing. It can get really emotive. It's very techy. It's very precise, but also very like warm. And what I decided to do with this one was actually start adding vocals. So I have my vocal processor over here, and I sent MIDI from the Maschine, that's right here, the chord data, over to here to be able to do tuning and harmonies and stuff like that. And I recorded the vocals from here into the Komplete Audio 6 directly into here. So plug the Audio 6 into this and just used it as an audio interface and recorded vocals right alongside what I produced in here. So with that said, let's listen to Indigo Dust.
I've been living on an island. I've been searching for more. Days they come and go, baby. Not responsible, maybe, for the things I feel. But God, I hope you know.
Next up is a expansion called Faded Reels. And all I have listed for it on my notes here is that cool shit. I'm not sure exactly what I meant by that. It just sounds, it's good. It's sort of more of that sort of lo-fi hip hop, but very well produced. It's got a lot more sort of like off tempo stuff to it, meaning like, just kind of like more polymetric, polyrhythmic stuff. It sounds good. I really, really like it. Some great chops on it as well. So let's listen to Faded Reels. This next one is called Rising Crescent, and this one's really, really special. It is oriented towards Middle Eastern sounding instruments, percussion, all that stuff that you associate with that type of music. And it sounds really, really good. There's some amazing multi-sample drum kits, some great native instruments, and not like the company, but instruments native to the culture. And I would love to see more of this stuff from expansions, because it's rare that we get a chance to like get something like this and play with all of it in such a cohesive package. So here's what I did with Rising Crescent. Last, but absolutely not least, is Sierra Mist. Wait, it's not Sierra. Last but not least is Sierra Groove. This I wrote down as that Anderson .Paak because it just exemplifies that so well. And there's even a couple like things in there that like have his name attached to it. So if you were familiar with Anderson .Paak's work, this is the pack for you. But I decided to do something a little bit different with it. So obviously you would expect this all to be sort of hip hop oriented, but I decided to go with a sort of lo-fi house thing. I've been listening to a lot of Tori Imoue. How do you say his name? Toro Imoue. Just sort of like trying to capture that lo-fi house vibe with sort of like chill vocals. So yeah, last but absolutely not least, here's what I did with Sierra Groove and some vocals. And those are my 9 favorite expansions from Native Instruments as of the recording of this video. Who knows what the future will bring? Thank you for watching. Check the link in the video description for links to all this and more. Maybe you'll find an expansion that speaks to you as much as these did to me. My name is Jeremy. I'm from Red Beans Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.